Basically, my name is Mark Train. I'm a member of Iraq Veterans Against the War, even though technically I haven't been to Iraq. I'm in the process of resisting being deployed to the war because I joined the Army back in '05, right around the same time Hurricane Katrina happened, and I saw the devastation that happened there. And I got out of training 7 months later, and nothing had changed. And right then I saw that this war was basically just another part of the system that's perpetuating the destitution of our own people, and it's only empowering a small number of individuals, primarily through wealth, greed, imperialism, and domination of what they consider lesser, primarily the Middle East, especially in the race for oil domination, given that we import most of our oil from that region, and that there's obviously a growing scarcity. And this is just another stage of one superpower trying to make sure that it has control over the world's resources. And it doesn't matter how many people get hurt, it doesn't matter how many people are left on the rooftops, it doesn't matter how many bodies are flooding down the streets of a city that is considered a city of one of the greatest nation on the planet. Greatest lifestyle is supposed to be a place where everybody has everything. It's just not true.
And you said earlier that you're turning yourself in soon.
Pretty soon I'm turning myself in. I was stationed at Fort Stewart, Georgia. I was supposed to be getting kicked out for writing an anonymous blog criticizing the government's handling of Hurricane Katrina and all that. And because of my views, they decided to consider me a threat to national security, so they took away the security clearance that I had and basically, you know, made me do like all the crap work that nobody else wanted to do. But I talked to a sergeant in my chain of command about, you know, these things, and he helped me put together a discharge packet, and it got to my commander, and he sent it up to legal, you know, to make sure the wording and all that was right. But when my unit deployed and I got put in my battalion's raid attachment that stayed behind, they decided, in accordance with the surge that was coming on, that was ordered by President Bush, they decided to throw away my discharge packet, even though I basically had no job at this point. And when they took away my ability to gain rank, I had absolutely no motivation to stay in, even from any common sense point of view. So basically my career was over, but they wanted to send me anyway just to do crap work. And I mean, who knows what could have happened there, because obviously, you know, they felt that I was a threat to, you know, the war somehow, and obviously I wanted to end.
Yeah. So you're going on the bus ride?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be on the bus with all the other IVAW members.
All the way through? The whole tour?
Yeah, because basically it's not actually going through Fort Stewart, Georgia, which is where I was stationed at. But I want to reach out to other active duty people like myself, and I want to tell them, you know, that there is support out here, that if you feel that you can't do this anymore, that you feel that what you're doing is wrong, or for whatever reason that you feel that this war just isn't right for you, for the American people, that there is hope out here, there is support, and you can get help. You're not alone, because there's plenty of us out here, and there's plenty of people that are willing to support.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Yep.
My name is Shalom, and I am a member of Iraq Veterans Against the War. I served in the United States Army for 4 years, from January of 2001 to January of 2005, and was deployed to Kandahar, Afghanistan from January to July of 2002, and to the Gulf War Theater from February of 2003 to February of 2004. I participated in the invasion of Iraq. The war was declared on March 19, 2003, my 21st birthday. And I spent most of my time in Iraq, in Talafar, about 30 kilometers west of Mosul.
Okay. And you are now a member of Iraq Veterans Against the War. And why is that?
By the time I came back from Iraq, I had come to the conclusion that this war is illegal, immoral, unjustifiable, and quite frankly, ignoring all that from a purely military strategic perspective, completely unwinnable. I made the decision not to re-enlist, got my discharge in January of 2005, heard about Iraq Veterans Against the War a month later, thought, hey, I'm an Iraq veteran, I'm against the war, I need to be with these people.
And how would you say the consensus of your colleagues, you know, your brothers in arms, brothers and sisters in arms, where would you say that is at?
While I was in Iraq, we talked politics, but we did not talk about the war. When we talked about the war, it was more in the sense of, I don't want to be here, I just want to go home and drink a beer and get laid. One of the primary reasons why I am so outspoken in my opposition to the war and in trying to bring the troops home now is because I feel that it is a soldier's responsibility never to leave his brothers and sisters behind. Iraq Veterans Against the War has a 3-point platform. Immediate withdrawal of all U.S. troops from Iraq, full support in health care and treatment for all returning veterans, reparations to the Iraqi people, and the right to autonomous self-determination. I primarily focus my efforts on the second one because there are some serious problems in this country. Quote, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and orphan, Abraham Lincoln. This is the motto of the Veterans Administration, the promise that this country has made that it will take care of the people it has sent to fight its wars. As it currently stands, this country is not honoring the promise. Let's count the zeros. Annual budget for Department of Defense, $600 billion. Annual budget for Department of Veterans Affairs, $73 billion. Supplemental funding for the Department of Defense 2007, $124 billion. $20 billion of that in pork barrel spending. Supplemental funding for the Veterans Administration 2007, $150 million. Total amount of bonuses paid to senior executives of the Veterans Administration for the year 2006. Not money for food to put in their kids' mouths, bonuses to buy another luxury sedan. $368 million, averaging over $16,000 each. Backlogged claims waiting to be adjudicated by the Veterans Administration, 600,000. Acceptable number of backlogged claims, according to the House of Representatives Veterans Affairs Committee, $250,000. Acceptable number of backlogged claims, according to the DAV, Disabled American Veterans, 0. Amount of veterans who have fought wars on behalf of this country, who are homeless, without a roof over their heads, on any given night, 200,000. Now, I'm not the greatest mathematician around, but even I can tell you that these numbers are completely unacceptable.
Now, did I hear that you're homeless?
Yes, I am. I was evicted from my apartment in June of 2006 because the house was sold to a realtor company who wanted me out so they could raise the rents.
And how are you getting by? Where are you staying?
Mostly I rely on the social support network provided to me by Iraq Veterans Against the War, because the Veterans Administration has yet to recognize the claim that I have put in for, quote, post-traumatic stress disorder, or as I refer to it, fucked in the head.
And that's, you are definitely suffering from that.
I have been diagnosed with it. I feel that I'm perfectly fine, that it's everything else that's fucked up, and that the reason that I am quote-unquote crazy is because I see things as they are rather than as how they are presented.
And what does it say on the front of your shirt?
It says in Arabic, Lan Nasmot, and in English the translation thereof, "We will not be silent." This is a special printing of this shirt for Iraq Veterans Against the War. We have a website too, Propaganda in the 21st Century, IVAW.org.
Cool. Thank you very much.